Liverpool 3, Newcastle 2. What a game. What a fucking game this was. This was the Isak derby right here. The crowd was up for it. There was drama. There was tears. There was celebrations like never before. This game had it all. So, first of all, congratulations to Liverpool. What a win this is. I'll talk about them first because they, no disrespect, but they were not good in this game for large parts of it. Obviously, when they went up a goal, they looked a lot more comfortable. When Anthony Gordon was gone, that quick goal by Ekitike in the second half, they looked better than Newcastle. But in the beginning of this game, Newcastle was all over them. You saw the physicality get set right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. You see people like Bruno G, Joe Linton, Tonali, even Trippier at moments like stepping up and bodying Ekitike and Gakpo on the wings. This was a tough game to win for Liverpool. I don't think a lot of their players can walk out of this game and say they had a good game. I would say Van Dijk, Alisson, even with letting up 2 goals, I would say them two were probably Liverpool's best players this game. Gakpo, yeah, he got the 2 assists, but I thought at moments he just wasn't great. I thought it was just another like solid Gakpo performance. I feel like he's always dropping like a 6 or 7 out of 10. And then obviously that Rio kid who I'll talk about. You know what? I'll talk about him now. This kid, I watched a little bit of Liverpool preseason, a little bit of highlights, this and that. This kid looked promising. I know everyone as an Arsenal fan, everyone's talking about Max Dowman and this and that. This kid, 16 years old, baller. This kid looks dangerous, and he didn't have much to do in this game. He came on very late. The one dribble he completed was very good. I thought he did very well to hold the ball up and get the ball. I think it went out for a corner. I don't think it went to anyone in the box. If I'm misremembering that, whatever. But the goal, the last goal, the pass in from Salah, the dummy from Szoboszlai, who actually I thought had a good game too, because playing out of position at right back was tough for him, but he did a very good job stopping Harvey Barnes. And the finish, the composure from a 16-year-old, that's special. I think this game, Ekitike scoring, this Rio kid scoring too, like Chiesa's resurgence. Does Liverpool need Isak? Do they really? Obviously, he would be a freaking great signing for them, but if I'm Liverpool, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at our striker situation. You have Ekitike. Gakpo can play in that position. It seems like they're using Chiesa in that position. Why not just go out and throw the money that you're going to go get for Isak and go and get a Rodrigo and go get another winger who, honestly, would be a lot more dangerous. And he's someone who could play off the right for Salah when I know they want to use Frimpong in that spot, but he could play off the right. He could play down the middle a little bit. You know, if you really need to, you could. I'm sure Arne Slot, he's turning some of these wingers into strikers like Luis Diaz last season. Maybe. But yeah, this is a great win for Liverpool. I thought Wirtz and Kirkez especially, I thought they dropped stinkers. I thought Wirtz was nowhere to be found in this game. Most of the passing he did was either off target or just backwards, which is not what you want to see from an attacking midfielder. Kirkez got bodied for the first goal. In such a physical game, it's like, I understand he's not the biggest guy, and Bruno G is such a physical player but to get turned around, like, what are you doing, dude? I just didn't think he was all that good. I thought Elanga was breaking a lot, not really taking him on, but just breaking a lot down that wing. And I know he's quick, Elanga. I know he's dangerous, but you got to do a little bit better. Maybe give him a yard or two in between him, not stick so close to him. But yeah, a really great win from Liverpool, especially not performing well. This is the same thing I thought about Arsenal, even though this was way more of a thriller and Arsenal's was way more of a stinkfest. But winning these games, Newcastle away is not an easy game for any team. It doesn't matter if they have Isak. It doesn't matter if Anthony Gordon gets sent off, Joe Linton, Tonali are hurt, Fabian Schär. They don't have people like Botman, and they have Livermento playing at left back. Does not matter. This is one of the craziest home stadiums to go to. It's a terrible stadium to go to if you're an away team. And they got through it. And this game is like a derby. With all the Isak drama, this is the the crowd, like some of the Liverpool players seem like they felt the pressure from this, but I I think they dealt with it really well. I think to come out with a win, this was a phenomenal win for Liverpool, and that's why I have them as favorites for the title. Another person who I thought had a really poor game was Kanate. He's so like maybe like I don't know what to say, but I think Kanate is so much better of a player than this, but a lot of his passing was off. He was getting caught out in positions a lot. I think he was very lucky not to at least get called for a foul, but arguably sent off for pushing Harvey Barnes in the back when he's almost through on goal. I think he's very lucky to get away with that. He's already on a yellow. And I thought he needs to step up a lot. And if Liverpool, obviously being up 2 goals, that's a problem to have it come back to 2-2 with a team that's not only missing their best 2 attackers because Isak's not playing and Gordon sent off, but they're down a man. And you let them come back into this game. I thought that was very poor, and it's not Kunate's fault specifically, but I do think he had to do better on that second goal, and I do think he had to do better overall in this game. As for Newcastle in this game, it's deflating, to come back from down 2-0, to fight that hard, to work that hard. This is a rough game for them, and injuries to Tonali, Joelinton, Shaw, and a red card to Gordon is. You have Leeds away next week, but they're going to be misses. You don't know how long Joelinton's out for. It looked worse. It looked like he could be out for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months. Tonali, similar to Odegaard's shoulder. Maybe you don't really know how long those take. I know Marino suffered a shoulder injury. Jesus Christ. He was out for like a month. So you never wish injury on these players. All the best to them. But Anthony Gordon, that red card, I'll talk about him because I thought he was Newcastle's best player in the first half up until that red card, which was just such a stupid foul. It's so late and it's so high on the leg. As soon as you see the replay, whether or not you think it's a foul, whether or not you think it's a red card. I mean, I thought it was a red as soon as I saw the replay. I thought the ref's going to give that every time. It looks so much worse when you slow it down too because of how fast he comes blazing in and he hits him like right under the knee, like the top of the calf. Like you can't be doing that. It's a boneheaded play. And now you miss because it's a straight red. I think he misses 2-3 games because of it. I don't know. I don't know the rules on all of this because I forget who got a straight red for us last year and they only missed 1 game. But my man of the match for Newcastle would have to be Bruno G. Honestly, I thought he was the best player in this game, so he'd probably get my man of the match overall. He was a dog. This guy is a dog in the midfield. He's throwing tackles left and right. He's a little reckless, He's a little bit of a I wouldn't say an asshole, but he's a little dirty sometimes, I remember a couple years ago he elbowed Jorginho in the back of the head just on a stupid play, But that's the type of player that is in these games is so pivotal because he's just a mentality monster, And I thought he was just everywhere on the pitch. He's winning the ball like crazy. You could argue that he could have got sent off with some of the tackles he's doing, but this guy was just he gets the goal too, and this guy is the captain of Newcastle for a reason. He is everything you want out of a player for a club like this. Not a diss towards Newcastle. This is when I think of Newcastle, this is the player I think of now. This is the guy. It's not Isak. It's none of these other players. It's not Anthony Gordon. This guy. What a player he is. And I hope that he stays at Newcastle because if he goes to a team like Man City or Liverpool or even a Madrid or a Barca or a Bayern, this guy will go to another level because he's technically so good. Some of the turns he had, some of the close control, winning fouls and stuff like that, and his control with his body is amazing. What a player Bruno G is. The whole midfield I thought was very good today. I think Joelinton was maybe the weakest out of all of them. Just stupid fouls and getting into little tussling matches with people, which I get. I know it's the thing I praise Bruno G for is being like a tough guy, but I just don't. I think when he got the ball, sometimes he just didn't look great on it. I thought Livramento was very good on the left hand side. A lot of great overlapping runs, really made up for Harvey Barnes, who I didn't think had the best game. And then when he went to the right, he looked so much better. And those throw-ins, dude, so dangerous off of them. Nick Pope, is probably my worst Newcastle player in this game. He didn't even dive for two of the goals. I mean, did he even dive for the Ekitike one? I don't remember. But he made one save this game. And I don't get why I get you don't want to throw Ramsdale into Villa away or against Liverpool, the team that just came off of winning the league, probably the most dangerous attack in the league. You don't want to throw him into deep waters and ruin his confidence because Aaron Ramsdale, he can get easily. He's an emotional player, to say. He can get some of the games we had with Spurs, and I remember the game against Liverpool at Anfield. Some of the saves he made, he was just on top of the world. But then some other games, when the pressure's on him, he flaps a little bit, gives up easy goals. Still a great player. Still someone I think is better than Nick Pope at his best. But Nick Pope this game, no, you got to do a little bit more on some of these goals. I get the first one; it takes a little deflection, it throws you off, but you got to dive for it, dude. You got to try. You got to cover your post. And the last one, Rio, you have to die, bro. You could see he's opening up his hip. You could see him from a mile away. He's putting it into that side netting. You got to anticipate it. And worst comes to worst, you dive the wrong way, and he scores anyways. Standing there like a statue, dude, you're not even this old. You're what? 33, you're moving around. I think he's a stiff keeper. He's not a keeper I rate particularly highly. I still think he's a good above average keeper, but he's so stiff sometimes. He's like a robot. But I just thought some of the goals, you got to do better on that. But Newcastle as a whole, it's a depressing loss. You lose Anthony Gordon, you lose Joelinton, you probably lose Tonali for the next game too. It's only Leeds away, but deflating this was, and the crowd was up for it. The fans were buzzing. If they got out of here with the result, even just a draw, I think that propels them into new heights. But I saw today Wissa's back in training, so I don't know who they're going to sign. I don't know who they're going to pick up as a striker. That kid that came on obviously scored the goal, took it well, worked very hard for it, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's an Isak regen. Out of the people that came on, I actually thought a lot of them did decent. I thought Jacob Ramsey he was good carrying the ball forward. Lewis Hall, that one play specifically when he held it up in the corner and they kicked it off Salah and got a corner. That's a very smart, very astute play from a kid that's only 20 years old. A kid that's younger than me. I'm just gonna call him Malik. I thought he was all right. I seen a little bit of him in AC Milan. I heard he's pretty good. I didn't think he didn't do anything spectacular this game. Came in for Shaw and just kind of replaced him. Did well. No other sub I really think had an impact other than Rio and obviously Asula. Rio, of course, the winner, the way more. I guess you could say impressive because he's only 16. The more memorable, it would go down way more memorable than Asula's equalizer because of the result. But I know it's defeating for Newcastle, a game like this. It's a game they could have got a result out of. I think if Anthony Gordon stays on, maybe it doesn't change the result because it was such a tight game. But I think there would have been a lot more pressure on Liverpool. And I think Gordon really has to take accountability for something as boneheaded as that, getting sent off like that. And in such a shitty time to get sent off right before halftime, you don't have to do anything like that. You don't have to make a play like that. It's just stupid, and it's a hard game to follow up because you played over 100 minutes. You played almost 115 minutes in this game. Oh wait, I guess added time at halftime. You almost played 120 minutes in this game. That's ridiculous. That's extra time in like a Champions League Cup game, whatever. That's crazy. But yeah, great win for Liverpool. Still my favorites for the title. Still such a deadly team, but they should really go out and look at Gahey and just go scoop him up because getting him, if Konate doesn't improve, lights a fire under him to improve or be replaced. And if you're not going to re-sign, we'll sell him in the winter and get another player in for him. But this Liverpool defense definitely needs somebody else. Definitely needs someone else to step in. That other kid, Leone, I think his name is. He didn't even get a kick of the ball. I didn't expect him to in a tight game like this, unless Liverpool were up 2 or 3-0. You don't expect him to get a kick in this game, but yeah, great win for Liverpool. Deflating for Newcastle, but keep your chin up because they showed fight. This is a team that you come to their stadium, it's gonna be tough.